Ajna Morti.
Ajna Morti.
What is that?
Spiritual awakening through the third eye.
Have you ever been to a psychic or spoke with a psychic before?
No.
I feel like God and Dad is telling us to do this right now.
So you have to be open to it in order for it to be good for you.
I've always been of the understanding that energy never dies.
That's
Destroy
right.
it. So if you can't destroy it, it just transfers somewhere. So where does it transfer to? If you give it your energy, then it has the energy to respond and communicate with you.
Does somebody have his ring or a piece of jewelry?
I have a ring and Carlicia have a ring.
Was he unable to say goodbye before he passed? You keep showing me that symbol, like either he couldn't speak or did not get to say goodbye.
Yeah. Yep.
Now Maestro's gonna monetize off my fucking tears.
She specializes in helping others find peace, clarity, and fulfillment. Please welcome Mrs. Kimberly.
Surrounded by.
I am surrounded by.
I'm often surrounded by.
The entire system is surrounded by
Freaking idiots.
Cruise to Jamie
I
Foxx.
can't be a movie star and get my chick taken by Jamie Foxx. I'm Tom Cruise.
I had to kill you. I'm Tom Cruise. You gotta
I
die,
run a church.
black
Like you understand. I'm working at a different level.
Dude,
man. Have you seen my movie?
Jamie Foxx just has these jets flying over his house.
I mean, it's
Jamie Foxx could never do what Tom Cruise can do because Jamie Foxx has a will to live. Tom Cruise is fine with dying at any moment.
that's fair because nobody just goes off of a fucking mountain on a motorcycle and does a flip.
That's some white guy.
Nobody
That's a
just
white
hangs
guy.
onto the side of a moving airplane and lets it take off while you're holding on to the side of it outside of it.
Hey.
Nobody climbs up the Burj Khalifa with no fucking ropes. Nobody fucking goes and dives and learns to hold their breath for 12 minutes.
You know what?
Just so
How
they
do you
can
know?
chill.
How do you know all this stuff, man?
There might be something to the Scientology shit. Yeah. Niggas holding their breath for 12 minutes. I might need in on this.
Hey man, the man knows. The man knows something. They got L. Ron Hubbard, baby. L. Ron fucking Hubbard.
I mean, when did he write
The Thetans.
when did he write this book?
In
70s?
Like
60s,
no, like
70s?
well, yeah, but you feel me, nigga? You created a whole religion in 1975,
And
like,
it's
what?
that big that fast is what's crazy.
What? Like, who are you? Like, how
How do you present this though? What if I came over here and I was like, Maestro, I got this something downloaded, and these aliens, you see, they come down. Well, now it's not too far fetched.
I'd be like, okay, Anthony, for real, what's the play?
But now
What's the play? And who
he
do we
might
need
be
to bamboozle?
he might be right now. I mean, the alien shit. I don't know much about Scientology, but I know there's like aliens
You gotta go
involved.
sign up, and then you gotta work
go
through your
learn.
Dianetics.
Hey, they
motherfucker.
tricked me at that museum on Sunset though, the Death Museum, where they go and they walk you through like all like the death stuff, and at the end they're like, it's Scientology, and I was like, got me again.
I'm on your email. I used my real one, not the G. Oh, man. Well, you ready to get started?
Yeah, here you go.
Well, welcome to the SBI podcast. Today's guest is a gifted psychic medium, intuitive life coach, and author who has spent the last decade traveling the world working with renowned gurus and shamans and transforming lives through her unique blend of spiritual insight and compassionate mentorship with certifications as a Reiki master, aromatherapist, and I'm going to butcher this one, Ajna Murti? How do you
Close.
say it?
Close.
Energy
Ajna.
practitioner. She specializes in helping others find peace, clarity, and fulfillment. Please welcome Mrs. Kimberly.
Thank you. So happy to be here. Thank you. That was good. Bravo.
Thank you.
That was a good intro.
Yeah, I knew I was gonna not know that.
I was
Ajna Morti.
Ajna Morti.
What is that?
Spiritual awakening through the third eye.
I didn't know that. Didn't know that.
New York. Unique New York. We also have Lemicah in the house. Via the digital. Yeah.
I'm in Thailand.
Yeah, he's in Thailand. But he had to come in on this because this is actually really amazing and cool what you do. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anthony was telling me a bit about about you, but I wanted to know the full story. So when did you realize you had this gift?
Oh, man. Probably about 15 years ago. I used to do physical therapy for a living.
Okay.
And I had what is called a spontaneous awakening. It's not like I studied this. It's not like I was raised around knowing anything about it. Literally one day when I was in my garden, felt like I was being watched, stood up, looked around, and sure enough, saw spirit standing objectively in the space with me. So that's when you see them with you versus seeing them in your mind's eye. That's subjective viewing. So in that moment, I couldn't shake it. Everywhere I looked, he showed up. I was married at the time. It was my husband's grandfather who had passed away 6 months prior. And I thought, why the hell do I keep seeing him? And so I would turn and look a different direction, and there he would be again.
And you knew that he had passed. So you're like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And I couldn't move away from it. So, just out in the field in my garden, I then was like, okay, if I can't ignore you, then, might as well ask you, what do you want?
Right, yeah.
So, long story short, he pulled a pocket watch out of his pocket, showed it to me. I could see the filigree. Now, mind you, though, this is he's 25 feet away from me, but it's also as if he was right in front of me. He didn't talk, his lips didn't move, but he was talking to me.
Okay.
And he was showing me things.
And not to cut you off, and does it look like a person? Does it look just like this, or does it look a different,
No, he looked just like me and you look in the room, but I knew he died 6 months ago. What the hell's going on? Because again, I wasn't raised around metaphysical understanding anything,
Right.
afterlife. I didn't know anything about this stuff. But he showed me the pocket watch. I could see the filigree. I could see that it was engraved. And I was just like, okay, great. What the hell does that mean? Finally, I got up the courage to ask my mother-in-law, because it was her father.
Okay.
Why would I keep seeing your dad? Believe it or not, I see him and he keeps showing me this pocket watch. What does that mean to you? And she went and got the pocket watch. And apparently he carried it every day for years and years before he died. And it was just as I described. It had filigree on it. And so, there was no real message behind the pocket watch. It was just something for me to validate and have an understanding that communication was happening here, or trying to happen. And so then things like this kept happening. And I mean, imagine working in a nursing home doing physical therapy where you're also
surrounded by older people
where they drop dead left and right, and you're a psychic medium, and you're deciphering the difference between reality and this psychic awareness was the lines were starting to bleed together a little bit, and it was what the fuck is going on?
That's crazy.
You handled that very well, though, for someone seeing, if I saw a ghost, I probably would have fainted.
And that was going to be my other question. Is that a ghost, or is that just a spirit? Or are there classifications? How does that work?
I think this is so controversial because people say that there are ghosts and spirits, and there's a difference. To me, I feel like a spirit is spirit.
Right.
Where they exist on the spectrum of conscious awareness, that's going to tell, that's going to be all the difference as far as what type of spirit you're interacting with and what the experience is going to be like. Some of them can be sort of stuck in a looping thought pattern.
And this is the spirit or the person experience?
Spirit.
Oh, the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Some of them are highly evolved. It just kind of depends on their will, because you're
It's like people.
Uh-huh.
Some people are just stuck in a loop. Other people are highly evolved.
Yeah.
Depends on who you're talking to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like that. And when we cross over, we don't move away. We still have work to do. It's not like we just go there and it's happy and the end and there's rainbows and butterflies. No way.
There's not. Damn.
Wait, no. Wait, what do you mean there's not rainbows and butterflies? No.
You can have your rainbows and butterflies, but there's still work to do.
You could go down the street here in Hollywood and find rainbows and butterflies, bro.
Okay, so my thing is I've always been scared or not willing to communicate. I've always been of the understanding that energy never dies. Energy doesn't go anywhere. You can't
That's
destroy it.
right.
So if you can't destroy it, it just transfers somewhere. So where does it transfer to? I've always been scared to try to talk or communicate with any type of afterlife, ghost,
Mm.
anything, because I've always felt like if you give it your energy, then it has the energy to respond and communicate with you. And I don't really want any type of, I don't want to talk to the wrong ghost. I'm not trying to I've seen too many movies.
And that's what I think. I'm like, you think of the movies, it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I want to know, like, have all of your communications and chats been nice and pleasant, or do some of them get kind of whoa?
Yeah.
Like Scary Movie 2 or whatever that was.
Yeah.
I
I,
mean,
don't
that's
know about you, Winston. I don't know about you.
Why are you shaking the table?
it's a good question though. Anthony and I were just talking about this last night. It's really a matter of first, like if you're going to move into the space, because truly everyone has the ability. Not everyone can cultivate it in a functional way because you don't have the inner stillness or silence, or like self-mastery. You have to be able to move far beyond your own fear limitations of story projection, like what could be, what if I talk to something I don't want to. If you can't master that, you're not ready to enter into that space. Because I mean, on a very true and deep level, you have to understand that, and this has to be so matter of fact for you if you're going to be in this space, that what you set your intentions to do and see and experience, it will be that way. It will be as such. And that's a faith experience, truly. You know.
So it's basically almost like the in a sense, like the manifestation of like, oh no, I'm going to have this kind of interaction. I'm going in with this mindset, opposed to oh, anything can happen. I'm kind of scared,
right.
And this is
right, because if you don't define the space that you're going to open yourself up in, then you should be scared.
So you're not just opening the floodgates to everybody to come in.
Absolutely,
You're
right.
just kind of like channeling.
Right. Now, that doesn't mean that I haven't seen some crazy shit and had some crazy shit come through.
I'm gonna. You don't ever bring this up, but I remember you told me nonchalant one time on the phone, and I was like, "What just happened?"
And I think something's wrong with you. I don't think your mic is going through because I don't hear it like coming through Anthony's mic. I just feel like it's picking up on everyone else's mic. I'm so sorry. I didn't want to cut you off. I just wanted
no. It's picking up. It's picking up. Maybe I'll turn him up.
Yeah, turn him up.
Can you hear me better now?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you know what it is? I know what it is. For you, mics only go through StreamYard. Mics only go through 1 and 2.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, so I'm so sorry. We get on the phone one day, and she's like, "I just saw a man in my living room," and I was like, did you call the cops? Like, what do you mean you saw a man in your living room? She was like, yeah, I walked in and he was looking like he was looking for his keys. He looked like flustered and he looked at me with a scared face. And then she told him, nope, you can't be here. And then he just left. And I'm sitting there. And then we went on with the rest of the conversation. I was like, hold on a second. Hold on a second, because you know what, like you're a little kid, you walk in your living room, you feel like someone's there. Now I feel like I'm always right.
Yeah, scared of the dark.
Like someone's just gonna like pop up and there's just a guy looking for his keys in my living room and doesn't even know where he is.
He don't even know where that car is. He's been gone for 50 years.
That's right.
That Chevy don't exist. Park them keys.
But do you remember that?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I remember him. Yeah.
So is there like when you do channel these things, is there a somewhat cutting off of like things inside of you when you channel them, like as in?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah, so certain things can't penetrate, whether or know too much about the vessel in which it's. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So when I go into the space of channeling for clients, whether it's channeling your loved ones or channeling information, because sometimes people don't need to speak to someone on the other side or want to. Instead, they're more interested in like, what's the best business move right now? And so I can see how energy formulates around you in accordance to what reality potential we're talking about. But Spirit told me a long time ago, I became aware at some point that before I channel, I go into like this void space where there's nothing. It's just all black. And there's not a sense of self, like a sense of Kimberly. It's just, and so I asked Spirit, like, why do I do this? I just became aware that I do this. Now, why do I do it? And they said, you have to become timeless in order to channel. So you have to remove memory, emotions, and thought. And I really sort of had that punctuated when I was in a car accident, had a head injury. I couldn't think right. I was in cognitive rehab for several months afterwards, but I was aware, even though I couldn't put together thoughts very well or words, I could still channel. And it was even better because there was no thinking like rational mind, like so loud that it would get in the way. So, when you open up that space, depending on what you're looking at, for me, this is why, nowadays I could open up and be like, sure, whoever you want to talk to, and allow Spirit to come through, but you're going to attract a lot of ancestors, loved ones, and so on. And the process can be diluted. However, if you say, I want to talk to Johnny, then I connect to your energy and then Johnny's energy through yours. This is quantum entanglement. Like, just like you were saying, energy doesn't die. It just changes forms constantly. It's ever evolving. And so when you know this in a way that you can move beyond your own awareness of self-reference, now you're in the great big field of all that is. And now it's just a playground of like, awesome, let's connect and let's see what's there. And so sometimes like the thing that Anthony was just referring to, you don't even realize that sometimes you'll just kind of go into that numb state of mind, like when you're in the shower, when you're washing dishes or whatever, and you're much more in a place of expanded awareness. And that's when I'll see people,
Right. Because there's less noise.
It's like very Sixth Sense-ish.
Yes, Anthony.
I was gonna say this is actually the plot of Insidious. This is exactly how they got into the void. It was then they had to go into a dark, empty space, and then I'm just like, oh, fuck.
But what's interesting is like, when I especially when I do sessions with people who have lost loved ones, if they've lost loved ones in horrible, awful, tragic ways, like they'll show me that sometimes. They'll show me those details if they want to. It's up to them. They're still not attached to how they died. Oftentimes they don't want to be defined by it. Like when you think of me, not how I died.
Right.
But they'll still show some of the craziest shit you could think of to validate their presence. And then I'll let them speak freely, of course. But as an evidential medium, that's required by me. For them to come through and talk through me, they have to provide evidence. Whatever they want to share.
Wow, that's crazy. I never thought about that. The fact that like how you die, if it is something extremely like, you might not even want to be associated really with that.
Yeah.
Is there people that get lost? Like they're not settled with the way that they died? Like, is there people that kind of are stuck in between wanting to still be alive and their tragic, like, there's people still clinging on?
Yeah, I mean, I would say from what I've experienced in doing this for about 12 years, I don't know that I could say that they get stuck. I don't think energy can get stuck. Rather, we experience resistance. And until we make our own breakthroughs, we're going to experience that resistance again and again. Just like, it's just like good girl dates bad boy. How come I keep having the same experience again and again until you make that breakthrough? Right. It's same energy, different circumstances, like no matter what we're talking about. But
like them Latinas, Lemicah.
So is there a good place? Is there a bad place? Is there a heaven? Is there a hell? Are they just stuck as energy here? Do they get to cross over? Is what at least from your perception and what you've gathered, where do they go? Are you connecting with people that are in heaven and they're coming down? Not just, are you
Right.
connecting with people that are just on this plane?
Mhm.
Where are these people? Like, are they just here roaming as energy and just stuck in this place? What?
So
I'm sorry. I
yeah,
know.
no, that's a great
I'm
question.
so sorry.
No, that's actually a very good question.
It's a great question. I beliefs are, can be super limiting. I don't necessarily believe, of course, that there's heaven and hell or good or bad. You create your experience. When we cross over, there's different planes of existence. And, again, we don't escape the work. So let's say someone dies by suicide. You still have work to do to overcome what you were struggling with, but now you have clarity. You don't have the emotional distortion that you have here in the physical that doesn't allow you to move beyond, your own cycles and so on.
Right.
So there you have expanded awareness and more clarity. You still have to work, of course, and work for it and work towards it, but it's a totally different experience. So I wouldn't call it good or bad. And I wouldn't necessarily, I do like the idea of defining it as heavenly in the sense that we don't carry the weight and the density that we do here that feels hellish sometimes.
Right.
When we go there, we have much more spaciousness, we have expansion, we have clarity, and we have help. We're not just in a fucking abyss by ourselves to fucking figure out life, like it's much more supportive energetically. But again, where you are in your essence, like where you're vibrating, determines what you experience. So think about a light spectrum. Where you are on that spectrum is going to determine what you experience. Like this is your trajectory. So those who carry a lot more density or lack of light, so to speak, still have a lot of work to do versus those who are highly ascended or evolved because they're so committed to compassion and love and, fortitude of all those things. So the experience is going to be much different, but it doesn't necessarily mean someone's being punished and they're in hell.
Well, what about these like haunted homes like Amityville Horror where all these tragic and terrible things happen? What makes that sort of energy?
So that type of energy, where we experience these paranormal loops, so to speak, where spirits are sort of doing the same thing again and again. These types of people, energy, entities, whatever you want to call it, in my experience, are a lower vibrating individual. And because they're lower vibrating, they cover less territory. Literally think about the simplicity of a sound wave, right?
Right.
The bigger the wave, seemingly the more territory, but it's not so, because what they can see, as far as projection, is minimal, versus if you have a higher frequency, seemingly covering less territory, not so. You're able to project much further your conscious awareness. So in these cases where we have these hauntings, these individuals they're in such a dense field, and then like attracts like, and it compounds that charge. So think of it like a charge. I mean, essentially we're all energy anyway. So you can experience someone from across the room without saying anything. You're like, oh shit, they're in a mood, better get out. You can feel that charge. Same thing with if someone gets sort of stuck in that looping, they're going to experience that charge until either something helps perpetuate them beyond it or they have their own breakthrough.
Isn't that wild though? But if you think about it, like you could feel somebody when they're in a mood.
Oh yeah.
And so like,
I mean, it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
I just wonder, what is it?
I just don't think we correlate that with somebody.
But like, it's like, what happens? Like, are you back on this journey again in a different like way, or is it what happens? Like, am I in do I die and then I'm like, oh man, well, I got more growing to do. Let's make a podcast here too. Like, what the hell am I?
Welcome to the Heavenly Podcast.
Damn, I gotta wait for Lemicah to die, but
Yo, no, I ain't never gonna die. No, I'm not gonna say that. But no, I've always, it's just like, there's so many different ways that I look at life and being, and like, I believe reincarnation is a thing.
Yeah.
I believe that, our spirit can go into other things. I believe that
Maybe that's the
I
next
can also,
transcendence. You get reincarnated.
but okay.
That would make sense.
I also believe in the possibility of, the possibility of branch universes. So like,
Multiverses,
if like not just multi universes or anything, but there's some instances where like I'd be like, did I die? And like I'm just in a different universe.
Like
and
you
I
just high.
continue on the same
you
path.
might think you died.
No, because I fell.
That's such a
I
good
fell
point,
one time
actually.
when I fell one time and I opened my eyes and I was on the side of my porch and I fell down and I hit the floor and it wasn't high enough for me to like pass out or like lose a couple. It wasn't high enough, but I woke up and I looked to the side and there was a brick next to my head. I was 4 or 5 years old.
Oh.
I mean, I was about 5 years old. I was on the side of my porch. There was a brick next to my head. I didn't think really much of it. But as time progressed, I don't know why that moment has stayed with me for my entire life. I forgot everything else. So I don't understand why I remember that specific moment. And I'm just like, wait, what if I died in that moment and I am on a parallel trajectory or universe that I did not die?
That's a good.
And the 5-year-old me, my mom found me.
That's
And
then you just like you smashed and split into the next universe,
dude.
And you spit into the next universe.
You watch too many movies. No, I'm kidding. That sounds like a fire movie idea too.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna confront your ideas though of what's real, right? Like what is real?
Yeah, and
reality has some nice little like fuck up sometimes.
Well, because they say time is linear, right? So the past, present, and future is all happening right now, which is hard to grasp.
Well, because we're calling it the past, present, and future, but it's like literally when we started, this is the past.
Everything, yeah.
Fucking 20 minutes ago.
It's spherical. It's fractal. It's now.
Also, time is man-made. It's a whole thing for us to conceive a concept of passing time, but I believe in third-dimensional beings, fourth-dimensional beings. I believe there are things that are beyond our comprehension. Like even if we just look into how our eyes are layered and the corneas and the colors we see. Purple is not a real color, but our eyes allow us to see that and interpret that. So if we're seeing that and interpret that, other animals are actually able to see different things on the spectrum.
Yeah.
So
they say cats have that sixth sense. They say, right? Like cats can see.
Mm-hmm.
If you see it, if you sometimes dogs spaz out at nothing, and you're just like, "What are you going crazy for?" And it's because it sees something you aren't capable of seeing.
I was just telling Kimberly last night. My dog, when I was a kid, used to spaz out the night of an earthquake. If there was an earthquake that was going to happen, he used to sprint around the house, like barking, like there was something in the house. And then an earthquake would happen that night. And I remember it was just horses do that too.
Yeah. I mean, it's because they're so much more used to listen to their instincts than we are.
And they're not as, like you said, not as dense. Mm-hmm. They're just living. They're not.
But then I've had this theory that we human beings aren't of Earth because all these animals, all the animals and everything that are of Earth are very much so in tune with the Earth. So when things are about to happen, you see a flock of animals fleeing and going the other way, and it's just us that are just like, what's going on?
But I feel like dumbing down of time.
I think that's a cultural thing, because if you think back to like Native Americans, like they would take a lot of these ancient. Well, I mean, I can see what you're saying, because they would take ayahuasca to open their mind, to attach to the spirit world and ask it questions, but they were also way more in tune with nature,
for sure,
and with everything.
Absolutely, way more. And with them doing things like ayahuasca, because like even with DMT, we have DMT inside of our spines or something like that. So when we die, it's released, and then I don't know what happens. I've never done DMT, but I
Yeah.
know it's inside of us and shit goes down.
So why do I have to buy this shit? Why do I just get to the shit in here? I heard like there's like what is it, breathing exercises and things that you can do to get like close to.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of
you would know
course.
about that, right?
I mean, and going back to like your point with the animals, I'll never forget when all this first started happening, and even my parents were like really trying to grasp with like, is our daughter losing her shit or is there something here?
Right.
And they started to see it in real time. When I was out in public, I would be like, oh my God, so and so's daughter's like tagging along behind them, and I don't know these people. I'm just in a random
Right.
place. And so I'll never forget this statement my mom said to me years ago. She was like, it's basically like you're paying attention to the empty space when everyone else is paying attention to matter and material things. She was like, so
Right.
you're looking at who's with the person instead of the person. And I was like, yeah, I guess
That
so.
makes a lot of
That's
sense.
I wish.
So like
that's a
when we
great way to
talk
put it.
about like these, natural disasters and things, and animals can detect them, it's because they're used to listening to like the silence where the truth is versus we are
turn on
so
music
plugged
or-
into
or we
distraction.
gotta watch
Yeah.
a video.
Yeah.
We gotta, facts.
And so, but there are still people that see it, sense it, feel it, hear it before it happens because they're grounded, they're plugged in, they're expanded, and able to, when you practice the embodiment of your totality, not just embodiment of Kimberly, that's when you go far beyond experiencing what Kimberly's exposed to. And you plug into, kind of the one and all, the all in one.
Wow. So there's no way that you can just like turn this off if you wanted to, is there?
Yeah, I mean now I've come to a point where I can turn it on and off because when you walk around on all the time,
I was about to say that has to be fucking crazy.
It
Like,
is.
that
It's
was
stressful,
like, man,
It's-
what?
it's draining in it because it's
Yeah, draining.
partially compelling. Like, you hear things and you want to share things and it's like, well, hold on. There's ethics that come along with this and a moral code. Like, you don't just approach someone like, hey, your dead sis is here. You want to talk? Like, you're grocery shopping and
Fuck
that-
Loretta.
that takes them into a really personal space.
Right.
And for me, like,
And you're like, I don't know you, so they're just like,
well, and you have to think about, it's such a tender thing all the way around. When I was telling Anthony the story the other day, when all this was happening and I was still trying to get a grasp on it and figure out like what the hell's going on.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time where I thought maybe I was cursed or possessed, like, again, because we were Catholics that went to church on the holidays and that's it. Like,
right.
I didn't know anything about spirituality,
Just
about
broad strokes. Like,
Yes.
oh, well,
Ash
Like,
Wednesday,
just-
Easter.
just be a good human. That's
Yeah.
all. Just be a good person. Like,
golden rule.
so when all this started happening, I was like, oh man, God's mad at me. Like, I was very God-fearing and afraid of like, why do I see this? Am I causing some of these events that I'm seeing before they happen? Like, deciphering the difference was just really fucking with me. So I'll never forget in Ohio, which is where I live, going to a little psychic
I'm
fair.
from Ohio.
Oh yeah.
Are you?
I'm from Cleveland.
Nice. All right, Zanesville. You probably. All right.
I'm sorry.
So I went to a little psychic fair in Ohio, down in Hocking Hills. It's a beautiful area to go hiking and just felt drawn to it. My mom and I went, just felt like the need to, see if there's anything there that could help me understand what the hell I was going through. And there was a couple that had a booth set up. Husband and wife, he was prior Amish, jumped the fence because he's profound psychic and they don't like, they
don't rock
shun
with
that.
that.
No.
Yeah.
And she was Hawaiian, so super spiritual in her own right. I sat down with him. His name was Doug. And we were talking and, he's looking at my energy and so on. And he was like, you're profoundly psychic and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, and you're sort of like in shell shock. Like, I don't know what that even means.
Right.
And I remember telling him, I said, I'm just really afraid. Like, I don't know what this is. I'm afraid if I keep doing it or sharing it or allowing it, God's going to be mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
And he just leaned in and he goes, but what if it is God? And I was just like I felt like some sort of big bang happened inside me. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't think about that.
Right.
Now I see it as God. So ever since then, I made it my promise. If this is you wanting to move through me this way, I will use it to turn people's eyes back to you. That is why I don't go up to people in the grocery store and say, "Hey, Susie," because it's so much more sacred than that.
Right.
So, and it's tough when you see some of these people popping up claiming to be psychics and mediums and not holding it in that regard.
Yeah, I know.
That's hard.
I can understand that. Well, that's already, even what you were talking about, like setting your intentions going into these things. I think that's a big piece of it probably too,
it's directly what you'll experience. And you have to know that without a shadow of doubt, and that's where some of the most profound sessions I've ever done that I will never forget, where the craziest shit and detailed information comes through, is one, because I'm very direct and clear in my intention, but also the sitter, the receiver, is very wide open to the process. When you have a skeptic, it's fine. Like, healthy skepticism is a good thing. Yeah. But they are projecting or inserting a bit of density or negativity into the field. So energetically, it's not as conductive as it could be. That makes still sense. Works though.
It's like cutting off like the
ground.
I mean, it's even like that just with like creative work. You have somebody in the room who's too judgmental from square one.
Yeah.
You can't get going.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
You can't.
Yeah, everybody's feeling too self-conscious to like, go sing that part bad. Like, no.
It's because enlightenment causes enlightenment. And if there's a charge in the space, enlightenment's going to feel that. So that charge, what happens is that charge is going to draw the light. It's going to suck the light from all the creatives in the room, so to speak.
Right.
So it's energy trying to fill itself is all. So that's called a positive charge. That hold in energy versus a negative charge is like a drawdown.
Right.
We don't want either. We want to be in the center. Then you have expanded awareness.
The center. The center is something that America has forgotten all about. Let me tell you.
Yes.
The middle, moderation. Nope. No one's about that. You're either over here or you're over here, and you're far.
Yes.
Far.
Far.
It's do or die.
No one's leaning.
Yeah.
I lean to the you
can't.
I'm all the way over here.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Have you ever been to a psychic or spoke with a psychic before? No.
Never.
Have you, Lemicah?
Oh wow.
I'm actually terrified.
Let me ask you why. Like what is it confronting in you that's bringing up fear?
My dad died. My dad died when I was 16.
Okay, if there's any chance we're gonna connect him, don't tell me anything about it, because I wouldn't. If we're gonna go there, we don't have to. But again, we don't have to. You have to be open to it, and in order for it to be good for you. But just keep that in mind. If you do want me to, then
I will. We'll talk about it. Let's keep on talking.
Yes. Well, yeah. Tell me, where's the fear? Like what? And it's not that I want you to believe what I do. I would never disgrace you like that. But I'm just curious. Like, what's your perspective?
Well, to just give you full perspective, it's several things. So it's I'm a big movie watcher. I love movies. Mm-hmm. And like I told you before, I believe communicating gives the energy, opens up the realm of talking, and then they have now the ability to communicate with you. And I don't necessarily know if I want that ability, because I don't know if I want to be able to see that. And to be able to, I'm already sensitive.
That's fair.
I'm very sensitive to things. I'm sensitive to emotion. I'm sensitive. When you were saying, when Anthony was over there saying, you could feel energy, when someone else is mad, I could tell when Maestro's mad from a mile away. Like, I don't even have to be on the phone with him.
This is why we get along, though, because I feel people. Like, I can feel people's energy. So even if I walk into a room that's not very conducive to me, feel it instantly. No one has to say anything. I feel disrespect way more than other people. Some people just look at it like, oh, that's just what's going on. I'm like, nah. There's so many layers to what just happened, and somehow you don't see that. But it's intuitive, though. That's right. He's very intuitive. I'm very intuitive.
So it's like, when he, just to be honest, when he's arguing with his girlfriend or something, or they're having a little moment, I don't even have to talk. I don't have to talk to him. Like I don't.
You can feel
just
him
text you,
I
"You good?"
deadass don't have to talk to him. I don't have to speak to him. I don't have to nothing. I can just. I'll be like, hey, what's up?
You're like, buddy, you
instantly.
shifted. What's going on?
Right,
Something
no.
shifted.
You know, not to just that was just an example, but
Sure, yeah.
like I just like that's like I'm very sensitive to things like that, and I'm very sensitive to energy and emotion in people. So I don't know if I have the I don't know if I have it in me to take in more.
Sure.
Secondly, you know, my father died when I was 16. That was my hero and everything like that. You know, to communicate with him is scary because it's like I think I'm on a great path now, but I was on some bullshit earlier, and I'm sure he was like, "You are on some bullshit."
He just comes in screaming, "Motherfucker!" The first thing he says,
like-
"I've been waiting to talk to you."
Listen,
that
sometimes they will say things never in a tone of judgment, but they will say things like, "This is long overdue for us to talk about," but it's never in a tone to judge you. And the reason why is because he has full awareness. He understands why you're on the path you're on, why you do what you do. And, you know, it doesn't matter how much you love someone, they can't interfere with our destiny. That is between you and God, and that's it. And they know that far better than we do.
You know, Kimberly did help me a lot with a lot of like me understanding death a lot now. I've come to terms that I've accepted it more, you know, because everyone's so scared of dying. I'm not.
Ain't nobody getting out alive.
Nobody.
I'm not scared to die anymore.
You can't say shit like that, man. you of all people are not allowed to say shit like that, bro.
But you know what? That would be a hell of a first, though. Man, yeah, I'm the first motherfucker not to die. How you doing? My name is Maestro. We on year 2000 of the podcast. I know they do holograms. I still like to use the good old internet.
But Kimberly's
see, when
taught me
you
a
lose-
lot though about death and how it works, and it's become more accepted to me in a way where I understand that your vessel is not here, but you're still here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it gets a little scary jerking off, but
You know what's crazy? Bro, we are so
what I'm
much.
saying.
That was my next question.
He's watched every
That was
single
my,
time.
that was my next question.
My dad has seen.
Can they
every
see
single
you jerk
time.
off?
He knows the
Yes.
porn.
Do they
He
care?
knows the
No.
porn, all right.
You know what? Wait, I don't want that. I don't want. So like,
It's human nature. Like, they know we have sex. They know
get to
we.
choose when they pop in.
like this is the 4th time today, son. Really?
I wasn't busy today. Damn.
They can see it. They know when it happens. They don't care.
But are they like living their own lives, or sometimes they'll just pop in and be like, "Oh shit!"
It's like walking in the door on it.
Brandy,
The thing
no.
about it is,
I think
my dad caught me. I found his porn collection when I was younger. He had a construction bag full of porn.
The good old days, man.
It's actually nuts now that I.
Nuts, hey? Nuts, you say?
But no, he actually when I found it and I put one in. I thought it was just videos. I put one in. And it was very high quality shit. I was very proud of it.
good job,
Like,
Dad.
he watched very high quality.
You go to sit down and watch some cartoons, and you're like, "Oh,
all right.
It wasn't the bootlegs. Remember the bootlegs with the cam versions?
No, bro. I found ones that had like great production value. Like I'm like, they're actually acting their ass.
this is actually a
And
good
he later
story."
Found out that he was watching Brian Pumper.
No, it wasn't Brian. I wasn't watching B-Pump. We all know B-Pump. He walks around Hollywood all the time. We all know B-Pump.
Kind of crazy.
But no, you know, I got enamored and I was sitting in the middle of the room just watching some porn, and I heard footsteps coming across the door and coming across the hall, and I grabbed the lotion bottle and I threw it that way, and I turned the TV off. And then he walked in the room and opened the door and put his head in. And he just was quiet and looked around and was like,
You're just sitting there staring at it off TV.
he was like, you was watching them pornos. Right? And then he was like, it's okay. All right, have fun, son. And then he just left, and I was like, oh, no.
smells like Jergens in the room when he walks in.
I have a question though. Did you turn it back on?
Well,
You waited
all
till he
so the
left.
thing about- I felt dumb enough that I was sitting in the middle of a dark room in the middle of the floor, like I was
Staring
like,
at him off
it was
TV.
obvious. Like now in my grown ass age, it's obvious you were doing something weird, son.
So I would just get on out of here. Close this
I'm about to go to the pool. I think I'm gonna go to the pool.
Why don't you get cleaned up
Oh,
and then you can
man.
join?
Oh God, that's funny.
That's crazy, man. That is a weird thing to think about, though.
But you know, back to Anthony's point, he brings up a really good point. When you can get beyond the fear of death, and for a lot of us, we carry this heaviness around a sense of finality with it. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so many people that I deal with and work with are like, okay, but now where are they? Like, what are they doing? Where are they? Because they're still like used to that person in their life, but they don't have that person physically, you know, playing that role anymore that they did. So just in working with the shamans that I've worked with, and learning how we perceive death, and are we actually perceiving the fear of death, or are we just experiencing our fear? Because you don't, and this is going to probably sound a little bit crazy, but you don't experience death. When souls transition, when people cross over, you think of it like this: you move into a new season. You move into a new chapter of yourself. It's just like here when we get married, when we have a baby, you're starting a whole new season of experience. Same thing when we transition into discarnate, you know, we're no longer in the flesh. We're still here. It's just different. So there's no actual experience of like, there's no stop mechanism. Like I stopped existing. There's no death experience, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And so many times they talk about, you know, I keep thinking of this one gentleman named Spencer. Long story short, this lady calls me, has a session. She wants to talk to Spencer. All I ask for is the first name, so he comes through, and it's up to the spirit what they want to show me. And he shows me his death, and I'm standing on the road looking at how he died. I mean, him and his wife were killed by a drunk driver. Completely annihilated the car. I mean, it was into pieces, and so was he, and she was trapped in the car and she burnt up.
Damn.
And he's standing there, and I could see him standing there, and I could see everything. I described everything, and the mother, and now mind you, she had this session 3 days after it happened.
Oh, wow.
Which was wild. Like, you know, I don't, anyone coming in booking with me, I don't know one thing from the next. So she's sobbing because he's bringing through all the details that she needs to hear to know that it's him. And he's standing there like looking at his body just completely shredded on the road. And he's scratching his head like, well, shit, I can't believe that happened. Like, but he didn't suffer. He didn't experience the you know, torment that we think about. And that's a lot of what causes grief is we try to project into first person, like, what did they go through? Was it painful? You know, we try to experience it. We try to imagine it. And then we torment ourselves. We create and prolong suffering that way. And that's oftentimes why they say, like, when you think of me, like, remember me. Like, that's just how I got to the new chapter that I'm in now. It's not who I am, the way that I died.
Right.
So,
I mean, because you never think of people in those circumstances until it happens.
yeah.
At all.
Yeah,
You'll think
I
of
mean,
them in a million
think,
different circumstances, but never that.
right. And it's always like, it's going to happen to somebody else, not someone that I care about. And then it will. It will. Like, we're all guaranteed we're going to lose someone that we care about. It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
And how you deal with that, how you handle that is, you know, truly up to you. And I think I'll say this, I know before I sort of got blasted open with this whole thing, I had a tremendous fear of death and dying. Really? And a big part of my fear was, will I still know who I am when I'm gone? Like, will I know who I am? Will I know who my family is? Like this feeling of lostness.
Right.
But I think too, like when you do the work and you know who you are and whose you are and what you belong to and that you belong, you sort of transcend that fear, I guess, and remember, like, I don't even have to know it all to feel that I belong, to feel that I'm a part of something bigger than what I can understand.
Right.
And hopefully, like in doing the work that I do, I can share some of that grace to disarm some of that fear.
Damn.
I just think like, but what about my Bitcoin?
Listen, I have a story for that. I have a story. This is gonna blow your mind. This is
Almost
crazy.
had it all. I should have sold it.
Listen, so obviously most psychics get that question, you know,
Yeah.
lottery numbers, all this bullshit. Don't you think if I could fucking channel the lottery numbers, I
do
would?
that.
However,
Who won the Super Bowl this year?
so I mean that kind of stuff can come through for sure. Like we channeled just before the new president was elected, and they told us who it would be, and sure enough, it worked.
Yeah,
But
pretty wild.
what's cool is like, here's the thing with questions like that, because I have a story about Bitcoin, crypto. But first, you know, when we look at what we're channeling and the quality of what we're channeling, all I look for is, and this is guided by spirit, really, like it's not up to me, how much ego is in the way. If this is like really stroking your ego, spirit's not going to go for it. If it's for something better or higher, they'll give me a green light. So I had a client one time in 2021. He calls me up, wants to know where to invest his money in crypto. And I'm like, listen, I usually don't channel this stuff. It's up to spirit. If they say go, then we're going to do it. Okay. So he's asking his questions, and I ask spirit, they give me the green light, and I'm like, okay, cool. And I swear to God, I mean, we could even talk to him sometime. Spirit told him on the 3rd week in March, the Dogecoin's going to spike. So put your money there. And he did. He put like 250 grand in it, and he spiked up to 11 million and was able to capture quite a bit of money. Now, here's the thing.
How did the spirit know about Doge?
They're not removed from what's going on down here. Trust me. And thank God.
That's why my dad has watched
And
me
thank-
masturbate. That's what I'm telling you. If he knows about Doge,
Well, Mike is gonna
But
put a
you know
blanket
what?
over himself next time.
Masturbating in his pillow fort. But here's the thing. That man gave it all away.
Oh, because he just, wow.
He was extremely charitable. He put his friends' kids through college.
Wow.
He donated thousands upon thousands to food drives. Like, I mean, so that's why Spirit
That's
gave it
why
the
it
green
was
light.
given. Yeah.
Yep.
because-
So because you gotta
Still
you
to this
gotta
day,
have
he works in a factory.
you gotta have a
Yep.
heart full of like gratitude and
God.
not being attached to that in order for them to give it to you. I feel
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
because I feel like once you let go of trying to force matter into matter
yeah.
and you just kind of let it go is when you kind of shit's just really starts to change, you know?
In all facets too. When you try to micromanage or control
Yeah.
anything too much, you have to just let it be.
Yeah.
Things come to you. Which is
Yeah.
energy. Which is now back to
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's because when you're
okay, I
controlling,
wanna-
there's
I
no
wanna-
creating.
my father, I'll do it, but I just have to take a call really quickly. I just have to step away for 2 minutes.
Okay.
That's fine. Take your
Then when
time.
I come, I would like to channel. I would like to see if you're down for it. I don't.
No,
wanna
the
force
question
you
is
into
if
doing it.
you're down for it. There's no pressure.
I don't know if I'm down for it.
You need to get clear then.
take your call. And
Yeah.
then we'll have you back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there we go. We'll get our Thailand correspondent back very, very soon. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so like I said, she's really taught me a lot about that whole it's taken me down a rabbit hole. Like I did ayahuasca the other day and nearly shit myself, but it was still a great
That's
experience.
what I heard. You're gonna purge one way or
Yeah.
another.
Yeah, it's gonna come out one end or the other or
yeah.
both. And so,
Fortunately for you, it was.
no, fortunately for me, I fasted.
So, what was that experience like?
So I had a talk with her about this because while I was laying down, like I was communicating with another entity. And so I immediately thought about her and I was like, is this what she feels like all the time? Like, this is wild because you can talk to these, you're talking to the spirit, but it's not your thoughts. And so that's the closest thing I can think of how Kimberly channels is that's what she does, but she can do it naturally. I just have to eat a bunch of plants to get to where she wants to be.
Right. But when you say it's not your thoughts, it's just
It's not you. I know when I'm talking to myself,
right.
and I know when someone is talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And so when I was laying there, fucking on another planet, I was communicating with like a higher consciousness, but it wasn't me. Like I was asking it questions and it was giving me answers, but it wasn't myself because the answers were so clearly matter of fact. Like how would I explain that? Like they were just so clear because I hear you talk about that.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt that night is how you told me that they're
Well,
how they come in.
It's like when there's no self in the way,
Mhm.
you can experience truth. But people are so busy throwing around their ego. And if that's what you listen to, that's essentially why I got this tattoo. Blessed are those who know more than they see. If you just listen to and plug into what you see and what's presented to you, you're missing so much.
Yeah.
But when you get used to and start to plug into beyond that, from a place of high center, your higher self centered in your truth, then you experience the truth in all things. So think about it like this. You are in an expanded state. Right. So you begin to experience everything else in expanded form.
Right.
And to me, thank God for the, he's like going to combust over here.
I'm so sorry. So my sister just called me and my sister, Carlicia, can you say exactly what you just said to me and what you're about to do, please?
So I can't say exactly what I'm where I'm going and what it is, but I called my brother and my sister to let them know that I am gonna be going on a show to channel our dad and other things.
Wow.
At 4
Look how that
p.m.
lined
It's
up.
a major show, and I literally just called him to tell him this, and he told me he's doing this, and I'm like,
crazy.
And that was literally the moment you were like, all right, I'm going to, but I gotta take a call.
And this was
was
that the call? That was the call?
This is the call, bro.
Wow.
This was the call that I had to step away from this conversation.
So that's your
and go into
father
that.
at
That's
work.
your dad trying to tell you he
These
sees
are
what you're
my
doing.
sisters right now. This is fucking not cool.
That's your father creating synchronicity. Absolutely.
That
It's
is
amazing.
wild.
That is
Bravo,
pretty crazy.
Dad.
That
Good
is
job, Dad.
wild.
That
That
is pretty wild.
out of all these, and she's never talked. Have you ever talked with a psychic before, or channeled him? I can't hear her.
We can't hear.
not since my dad passed away. So this is it's really my best friend called me literally maybe 30 minutes ago to an hour and asked me to go on the show with her, and I'm nervous, so I was like, let me call my brother and my sister so they know what's happening.
That's amazing. And you literally just
And it's not like he. How long ago did he pass away?
He was 16.
He
passed away in 2006.
So in the last 18 years, no one's talked to him, and it just so happened that you're channeling him at the same time, because she's gonna go on a show, you're on one currently.
That's amazing.
And it's happening. That's wild.
That's wild.
That's divine alignment for
Man.
sure.
This is terrifying.
No, because it's also, what are the odds?
amazing.
Even how we made the time. It's 4 a.m.
This is
in
when
Thailand.
this is
4 a.m. for me
Dad
right now.
saying it's time.
That is crazy.
That's wild.
That's pretty.
Wow.
That's the
amazing.
most.
Wait, where's your sister? So you're in Thailand. Where's your sister?
I'm in Thailand. Carlicia is in Atlanta. Cameron is in Las
wow.
Vegas. We are all in different parts of the world. It's 4 a.m. right now. You're scaring me.
That's amazing.
That is pretty crazy.
That
of all the
is your
things you could have
dad.
just called him for, that's
Yeah.
pretty wild.
Yeah.
I've never talked to. I just told you that
You
I've
literally
never
just
talked about
said
it.
yes.
I do not do psychic shit because I do not do the energy thing because I'm scared of communicating with ghosts because I feel like they are going to fuck. And now look, I'm talking to a psychic, and now my sister's gonna talk to a psychic, and then Dad's trying to find me. I told you I
No, if you don't do it right now, he gonna tell her, "Hey, tell Mike to call me."
Can you tell Mike to pick up the damn phone?
Pick up the damn phone.
That's amazing.
That's wild. Wow.
So, you guys want to do it while you're on the
All right.
phone, or do you want to wait for your moment?
We
I
can.
know you're gonna have your own moment, and I don't want to step on your moment because you're gonna have your own moment. But now we have a psychic on the fucking line right now with both sisters. Like I feel like God and Dad is telling us to do this right now. I don't fucking.
It's up to you, whatever you feel comfortable with. Again, I'm not here to push what I do on anybody because you got to be open to it. And
I would like to get my message from Dad with my sisters.
I love that. Absolutely. Okay, can I just have each of you state your first name?
Do you need a paper?
Yeah, that would be
Do you have like a pen and paper?
I'll go get that.
So I'll have you guys state your first name and then Dad's first name. Like, and if it was like Robert and he went by Bob, like let me know if he had a nickname. And that's it. I don't want anything else.
Gerald.
Okay.
His first name's Gerald. With Dad, he was the teddy bear.
Okay.
Do you guys have any nicknames for Dad or anything?
No, just that.
Just Dad.
Okay. So, but did he, by friends and family, did he go by Gerald, Jerry, or?
Gerald.
He went by Jerry. He went by G.
G. Yeah.
All right.
Or Bert.
Or Bert.
And can I have the ladies say their first, like just all of you say your first name, because when you do, you're casting your energy in a way that I can like, sounds crazy, I know. Just say your first name.
Carlicia.
Oh, pretty.
Cameron.
And Lemicah.
Okay, so I'm going to explain the process a little bit before I start. That way you kind of know what to expect. Typically when I channel, I write and scribble a lot because I can see better. Okay, so I'm going to be writing, taking notes, and then I'll share what I see or what comes through. In this process, what I do is I will connect to your father. I'll have him share whatever he would like to validate his presence to you. Okay. It's important for you guys to acknowledge what you can. If you understand what's coming through, just make the acknowledgement. Like if he's talking about something, you're like, yeah, I know what that is. Please say so. Because when you do, you ground his energy when you make those acknowledgements. When he's grounded, I can see him and hear him better. Does that make sense? Fair enough?
Yes.
Okay. Are you sure you're okay with this, Lemicah? It seems like...
Like he holding his breath.
I know. Breathe. It's okay. It's okay. All right. So after I feel like he has validated his presence a little bit, then I'll kind of open it up for a little bit of free conversation if you want him to like share insight on something. Okay, so we have Carlicia, Cameron, Lemicah. I'm going to listen for just a few seconds here. This is actually long overdue. So that's definitely coming through. Okay. All right. So, and I will say this too, if there are some things that you don't understand, you don't know, please take a note of it and revisit it later, because this right now is going to be a very emotionally charged space and you might forget some things. So just keep that in mind. And it also might be future reference. First and foremost, I feel like I want to talk about a ring. Does somebody have his ring or a piece of jewelry that was either was his, belonged to him, or is made in memory of him? Who's got the jewelry? Wants me to talk about?
I have a ring.
Sorry?
I have a ring and Carlicia have a ring.
Very well. Okay. Was it his ring or was it a ring made? in honor of him?
It was his ring.
Okay. See what I wrote down? Just in case you want to see.
What is that? Oh, a ring.
Ring. Like that was the first thing coming through. And by the way, the whole time we've been talking, I've been hearing this. So it's just a matter of like everything has to align in order for us to allow it to come through. How do we connect to the number 9 or the month of September? There's either a birthday in September or on the 9th of a month or an anniversary. There's something with the number 9 here.
He he passed November 10th. That evening. I don't know if he actually passed on the 9th or the 10th, but he passed November 10th. But that's as close as I can think of that.
When these numbers come through, it's either something describing him or you or friends and family around you. So someone's got a birthday either on the 9th of a month or in the month of September or an anniversary. So there's something with the number 9 here. And again, when they share these things, he's not always describing himself. He's describing you or friends and family around you. So keep that in mind, okay? Is mom still alive?
No, she actually passed recently.
Okay,
but not recently. She passed.
Does she have
20?
Yeah, where's the number 9 come in? Does she have connection to the number 9?
I don't know.
Okay, that's okay. I'm taking notes so we can send these notes to you afterwards if need be. We're going to move through a few more pieces here. How do you connect to the month of July? Birthday, anniversary?
His birthday is July 13th.
Okay, so there's no message behind it. It's just something that he's giving to validate his presence here in the session. He has me write down the word July, the month of July, having some significance. So if that's when his birthday was, it's just his way of validating his presence, okay? Also, I need to talk about being laid to rest by cremation. So I don't know if that was him or someone else.
Yeah, he was cremated.
Okay, so see here, he had me write down the word ashes.
Yeah.
So again, but this is a little different. When they bring these things up to validate their presence, first and foremost, I have them validate before I let them speak freely so that you know it's them. But when they acknowledge the way they were laid to rest, whether traditionally or through cremation, it's not just an acknowledgement, it's his way of showing closure over the timing of his passing and how he was laid to rest, okay? So please know that there is a little bit more of a message behind that. Lemicah, you need to hear how proud he is of you. Like he's saying to tell you, like he's going to try to kind of push through a little bit and move past my validation process here. He just keeps saying like, he didn't say it enough here in the physical. So you need to know how proud he is of you and who you are, but who you choose to be. He said, like, that's the most important thing. It's like who you choose to be. And I need you to validate just yes or no, because he keeps referencing like you younger, like younger in your childhood, and him. He goes, I didn't say it enough. I didn't say it enough, and I don't know if that's true. This is up to you to validate yes or no. He's saying that he doesn't feel like he said it enough as you were growing up. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. He just keeps repeating that. It's important that you know that. Let's see here. I don't know what that means, but we'll come back to that. Does that make sense to you, first of all, before I move on?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. To the ladies, well, that might be an assumption on my part, but I feel like I'm supposed to move to the ladies and talk about this next piece. Is someone having a baby or just had a baby?
I want to have a baby.
Trying to have a baby. Okay. Who was that said that?
Carly's.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys can't see what I'm writing down here, but he had me write down the word baby with an arrow. When they have me draw arrows, sometimes they'll have me draw boxes, they'll have me draw all kinds of weird things. He's having me draw an arrow, and he had me write the word baby on top of it. That means that's the direction we're heading, like someone's going to have a baby. So if we're not already expecting, it's probably going to be soon. Like it's going to happen. So I don't know if that's something you need to hear or if you're trying or what that space is, but he's acknowledging the family is going to expand. I need to talk about a baby coming in. I mean, he's going as far as sharing gender, but I don't know if we want to go that far. It's up to you. He's showing a baby girl coming into the family. So if you get pregnant sometime, I would love to hear back from you. But this is just his way of showing like acknowledgement, like seeing what's going on in your life, seeing, you know, what you're thinking about or what you're heading towards, and wanting you to know he's a part of it, and wanting to be more of a part of it than ever. Feeling like I don't want to say like he missed out growing up, but like not as involved as he wants to be or sees now that he would be. Can you validate, any of you, was he unable to say goodbye before he passed? He keeps showing me that symbol, like either he couldn't speak or did not get to say goodbye before his transition. Do you understand that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So to me, this is, he just, again, is showing my symbol for didn't get to say goodbye before he passed, but it doesn't mean, like, even though he didn't get to say goodbye, he's saying it doesn't mean that that changes his expression of love. Like how much, like didn't get to say I love you, but I need you to know how much I love you. I need you to know. He just keeps repeating that. And also how proud I am of you. I don't know who this belongs to, but he wants to talk about someone in the family having like stomach issues, digestive issues. Like we need to pay attention to this. We need to take care of it. Do you guys understand where that is?
Yeah, it's probably me or Lemicah.
Can you like share a little bit if you don't mind? Like we need to take care of this.
Me.
I don't know. For me, I have like really bad stomach issues. I throw up a lot, and I have like bad acid reflux, and just a lot of different things that go on with me. And Lemicah, you can speak on yourself.
My stomach lining is messed up,
Yeah.
and I have H. pylori. I had H. pylori, which has basically been eating away at my stomach.
Between the two of you, which one of you is either going to have surgery or has had surgery about it? About the stomach? I'm just gonna...
Carlicia can talk to you about that.
I've had surgery. For my stomach, I had vertical sleeve. And that's what's creating the issues most likely.
Okay. Hold on, let me piece this out a little bit. First and foremost, the message is, okay, so we need to acknowledge why there's a parallel, why both of you are having stomach issues, but we'll get to that. The surgery, Lemicah, have you had any kind of procedure done around your stomach issues? Just yes or no for now.
Yes.
Are you having another procedure done that you're aware of or that you're planning on or thinking about right now? Because this energy,
Not right.
The energy is pulling more towards you, Lemicah, around like be responsive, like take care. Like if your stomach's acting up and bothering you, like respond, like don't put it off, pay attention to it. Just so you don't have to prolong discomfort. It's not like there's some sort of big warning behind it. There's not some sort of big scary thing. Nothing like that. It's just like take care of it, stay proactive. But I will say he does show it's the feeling of like a new procedure being done that I feel like it might, okay, just bear with me here, okay? This is all future reference stuff. So this is the stuff that I would say take a note of. He's showing going into a new procedure. This procedure feels a little bit new and different or modern in some way where you might feel like you don't trust it. But he's saying trust it and go with it, because the after effect, what I see is like things are zipped up. Like you're feeling much better. Things are buttoned up. It's going to be okay. It's like he needs you to have comfort in knowing that. So that health doesn't continue to deteriorate or decline around some sort of issue. With H. pylori, I'm not real familiar with what that is. Does this cause or between the two of you, like a lack in nutrient absorption?
Maybe I've actually had to change my entire eating habits and everything in my entire diet. And, I've been trying to, a lot of my emotions are attached to my stomach.
Oh, I got to get
And
you to talk to my friend Dimitri for sure. Like, so he helps you remove all that charge. Um, if you carry, so just to kind of go off on that a little bit, what you talked about, and I think this is relative to sister as well, the sister that was talking with the stomach issues. If you carry emotional charge, emotional history, I mean, we all do to an extent. And for the most part, it settles in our joints. We become stiff, achy, sore. However, I'm like you, Lemicah, in that if I'm stressed, it goes right to my stomach and my stomach will be jacked up. So if you don't know how to neutralize or clear that energy, it has to ground somewhere and it's going to take it out on your body. Your body takes the blow, basically. So training people how to neutralize the charge is so important. So I'm going to show you something to do that's going to help you just really move that energy for now until, you feel like you can maybe do whatever else you got to do. Because your dad is showing like, this is important because he's showing like a decreased ability to absorb nutrients, which of course is just going to lead to more issues. If there's stuff going on in the stomach, because he keeps saying we need to pay attention to this. So I'm going to have you keep sisters on the phone, but set the phone down because you need both of your hands to do this. Anthony and I were just doing this in the car because we both were like feeling kind of crazy coming over here in LA traffic. So just really quick, and then we'll get back to letting your dad do all the talking. And you can show your sisters too, or if they can hear me. So long story short, mudra medicine is really real. Science has been able to prove that mudras, when you do mudras, it reassembles or reorganizes the assemblage points in your chi. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to think about it. You just let it do the work for you. So you see Buddha statues everywhere, right? With their hands in certain positions. That's medicine. And like, this is something that's so overlooked nowadays. So I'm going to show you a little bit of medicine to help your belly, like chill out and relax and like really come into harmonic resonance so that it can begin to heal itself. Ready? Put your left hand up in front of you, facing away from you. Okay? Right hand up in front of you, but facing you. This is like everyone's favorite. Take your right hand and wrap it around your thumb. Yep. Yeah, you do it too. Because you'll feel it. Yep. Left hand. Yep. There you go. Perfect. Now take your left hand and lay it over your fist. And then connect your, lay it over your fist. There you go. Connect your thumb and your middle finger. Right? Because you're completing your own voltage circulation here. Now just make sure it's pointing straight up. Your thumb and your middle finger. Now just put it close to your heart or down by your belly. Lemicah, connect your thumb and your middle finger. Yep. Like this.
You gotta open your hand, Lemicah.
Like what? Wait. Okay, hold on.
Like you're doing the Illuminati sign.
Yep. Now lay your hand over your fist. Very good. Now.
Keep your fingers pointed though.
Can you see my hand? So take your thumb on your right hand and connect it to your middle finger on the tip.
Open your fingers. You got to open your fingers up.
Yeah.
Wait.
On your left.
Keep your hand.
There
keep
you
your
go.
Hand, yeah,
yes,
there
it is. Now tilt it toward the sky. So your fingers are pointing towards the sky. Beautiful. There it is. There it is. Good. Now just sit with this for a few seconds.
Are you supposed to put it towards your chest?
In front of your stomach, in front of your chest, wherever it feels comfortable. This mudra posture causes a descension in your energy, in your chi. It causes your energy to go back into your body. A lot of times when our minds are busy and we're busy in general and we're racing in thought, we project our energy and we're not well connected to our body. This one has a sense of gravity and weight that comes with it, reacclimates you to your body, grounds your energy into your body, which can be extremely therapeutic when you're dealing with issues like that. So when you sit in this posture, this is called the reassurance mudra. It's very grounding, connects you back to your body. So whenever we're having ailments, this is a great posture to go into, you know, whenever you're having physical ailments as well as emotional. Like this will ground you right out of your crazy thinking mind, right? When you're like falling all over the place in your thought debris, this will take you back into your body. So your thought debris isn't so, you know, in authority, basically. Makes sense? So Lemicah, if you can, and sisters, ladies, practice this as much as you can, especially the ones with the stomach issues, so that you can just, basically what you're doing is you're causing alignment. When you have harmonic resonance within your body, you have grace. When you have grace, it is really hard for illness to exist and continue to prosper, so to speak. You follow? Make sense? Are you zenned out?
Wait, is he frozen?
I think he's frozen.
Oh shit!
It's a great posture to be frozen in.
Dude,
That was
I
great.
thought he said, I thought he was. I thought he tranced out,
He
dude.
looks like totally zenned
I'm
out.
like, yeah, he has to, well, I don't know. I guess he has to come back. Maybe that's that that Wi-Fi in the goddamn Thailand.
Looks like Buddha.
He did not move. He looked great.
I was like,
Like,
yo, are you good?
Okay?
Wow, that's crazy how much information you were. I
It's just
I
wild
didn't
how
even know any of like some of the things that.
That's just the tip of
it's
the
just
iceberg.
wild how all of that synced
How
up.
all of that just happened.
How
Yeah.
his sister called in the middle of this.
That's insane,
Dude, that's
him and that's how powerful spirit can be if you let them. They can interact with our lives. We can participate with them. But
That's
a lot
wild.
of times, how many times, think about it, how many times have you had experiences or phenomena like that and you talk yourself out of it? Like, no, it couldn't be dad. That's not dad. It's just coincidence, you know?
Right.
But when you actually open up to that and
To even the thought process of
allow spirit to have space in your life, I'm telling you, this is how miracles happen.
That's crazy. I want to see if he's coming back because man, I want to finish this.
Yeah, I want to talk more about the ring that he has.
dude, that was funny. I really thought
so
he was.
Here's what's crazy. I wanted to. Maybe this is why he's off the thing. So when you said ring, he told me the other day he just had to talk to one of his sister's boyfriends because she's a marriage. So I didn't know if ring possibly meant one of them was getting married, but she doesn't know yet.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah.
Oh.
Interesting.
That's why I think that's why when you said ring, the one who actually was going to get proposed to, she did this.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, but she
That's
doesn't.
awesome.
Yeah, but I don't think she knows yet.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's good. We'll keep it this way. 'Cause I think what he
You have to put this after.
yeah, you'll have to put.
this is what I always tell people. Messages will come through, and these things are symbols, right? Symbols are layered. They're complex. They don't have just one meaning.
Right.
So I always tell people, let it land where it does. And if it kills two birds with one stone or covers more territory than just one meaning, there's a reason.
Right.
So if it's triggering resonance with the idea that someone's about to propose, but also I still have dad's ring, let it land where it does, because that's why we use symbols in this process, because it takes less energy to communicate messages of, whatever they want to talk about. So I love that you're listening for him on behalf of him in that kind of way.
Yeah.
Super
I mean,
cool.
I'm trying to, because man, that's wild. That's
And it's, what, at the end of the day, what he's trying to do is say, hey, I see what's going on in your life. And like, if Lemicah has dad's ring, that stuff is so important to them, because that's what keeps them close,
right.
and maintains our bond and connection. And it's his way of saying, like, I'm here. I know. I see what's going on. Like, you keep my ring around, which keeps me around. Thank you. And they want us to remember.
Damn. Yeah.
So,
I mean, even when you're talking about the like, I'm proud of you thing, like, it's just funny because like he talks about that. He talks about like at times it's just like one of those things is like, his dad loved him, but it was
right. You got to hear it sometimes.
Didn't
Yeah.
hear it as much as
Yeah.
But damn, because his father was also like he traveled. He was a big singer, so he traveled a lot.
Oh,
he was always
cool.
on the move. He's a
Oh,
huge
wow.
R&B singer over the '90s. So
Nice.
yeah, it's that lifestyle of being busy, being on
Sure.
tour, being all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
man.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of funny to.
I
Wow.
love when this type of message talking about a baby is always like, oh boy, are we pregnant and we don't know? Are we hoping?
Then he goes to the stomach. It's all in the same place.
Right.
It's crazy.
It's very true.
Damn. Well, man,
What did he say?
I don't know. He hasn't said anything.
Did his phone maybe die?
I wonder
No,
if
'cause
his
it-
phone died or if he just was kind of like.
Well, it froze. It froze though.
It
Can be
did
a
freeze.
lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or his laptop wasn't plugged up.
Oh yeah.
it's
be one of
all
those.
energy. So,
Yeah, that's a good point too.
man, but I mean, that's phenomenal the way that lined up with. He said yes, but let me take this call.
And that call was.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's spirit.
What are the
That's what they
odds?
do. See, here's the thing. They've orchestrated this. They've helped put us where we need to be for growth and evolution. Like, we're not that smart. We're not that great.
Right.
And then when we see it in front of our eyes like that in real time, that's when it's like, what just
But
happened?
there was actually planning done.
Yeah.
That had nothing.
They
to do
knew.
with us.
Yeah. We're just the little puppets down here just showing up, doing what we're told.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
Well,
Well, I'm
but
glad.
see, I hope.
Man, I want to dig deeper, but I don't know if he's which would be understandable.
I hope.
No,
I
yeah.
hope it has a good.
Oh, he's back.
Yay!
There he is, bro.
You got frozen.
You
in that,
froze
in that
in
posture.
this position, and we thought you were tranced out because you weren't moving.
Yeah, you literally
You were
not
like,
moving. We were
you
like,
were just like,
You're like, he's
and we're like,
going. He's done
he's
something.
gone.
he's a
gone.
yogi.
We're like, what happened? We're like, Lemicah, you all right? And he just sat there.
Like, but just to wrap up with that, practice that mudra posture at least daily, if not a couple times a day. Let it do the work for you. You don't have to think about or visualize anything. It'll do the work for you. And it'll help kind of settle some of these issues with your stomach. Same with sister. Now, I want to go back. I was just explaining to them that I want to share with you as well. Coming back to the ring, a lot of times when spirit talks about, keeping their items around, like, thank you for, they'll make those acknowledgments, right? Like if you have dad's ring, if you visit it, if you keep it in a box or if you wear it, either way, he's with you. And these are the small things that they want to bring up to let you know, like, hey, that means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you for keeping me around in this way. And that goes for anything you do. If you plant a tree in honor of him, if you hang up new pictures, if you wear hats, he's like showing me a hat symbol in honor of him, know that he knows. It's his way of saying thank you, like for keeping him close, because it truly does.
He loved hats. He loved hats.
That's why he showed like the hat symbol.
He had this Wayne's World hat that I saw somebody walking with the other day, and I stopped them and was like, "Where'd you get that hat? I'll buy it from you right now."
Oh.
And they didn't let me buy it.
Man, these people in Hollywood be on some weird.
Damn.
Real quick, in terms of his transition, just for what it's worth, I'm going to let him speak freely. He was trying to show, it's like he wants there to be peace over and closure with his passing or how he passed or the timing of it. This is one of those situations where he doesn't show me. I don't see details. I don't see, like, other times in other sessions, other people I've seen. Mm-hmm. You can only imagine.
Right.
A lot of times if they don't want to identify with or be remembered through how they passed, they won't show me that. And that's what he's doing. But he does want, like, it's really important. He's being very direct, like stern. He wants closure and peace over how he passed for family and friends. So if there's questions looming or like wasn't supposed to be like that, shouldn't have happened, like that kind of feeling or thought, which is quite common, I would say anyways, but specifically for him, he has peace and closure over his passing. So he's saying, I hope you can have that too. I hope you can too. I'm just going to keep rolling with him if that's okay. So please stop me if you have questions. But he is talking about you walking in his footsteps. I don't know what that means. I don't know if you're just like him in a lot of ways, or if you are doing something bigger in maybe a more public way that honors him or his life or something. I don't know what this is, but he's showing like honoring him by walking in his footsteps in some kind of way.
Oh, Cameron's a musician, so she's walking in his footsteps. I'm constantly trying to at least be as strong as him.
Are the ladies still on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Cameron, you said she's a musician. Does she sing?
Yes.
Okay. Because I keep hearing use your voice, use your voice. So I would say that's just a message to acknowledge her, like connection with her.
Telling her to use her damn voice.
Aw. Well, he's saying it too. Use your voice. Use your voice. Please know he just comes through with a lot of passion in the sense of like being a cheerleader for all of you, like bringing you to your best. I also need you to know, he says, please still call on me like dad. Please still think of me like dad. Like he still wants you to invite him into your life like you would dad. Like if you need help, if you need support, if you need strength, you call dad. He wants you to know he still has capability to be a part of your life in those ways. It's a little bit different, of course, but he's literally saying, please keep calling on me like I'm still dad. Because he wants you to know he can still have an impact in your life for all of you. Who's moving? Someone's moving. Someone's moving. Someone's moving. Who's moving? Is someone get a new house? If not, you're going to.
You good?
I don't know. Maybe Lemicah.
Yeah, I'm buying a house next year.
Very well. When they show these things, it's just his way of saying he sees what's going on in your life because he's still here, a part of your life. It's different. Did he have heart health issues?
He passed away. He passed away of an accidental overdose. It was before. I'm usually so talkative. It's so funny that
That's okay.
I'm never
That's all
lost.
right.
I always have something to say.
I'll just say this. He just keeps saying, talk about my heartbeat. So that's why I ask, like, if he had heart health issues or maybe he had some sort of medicine that stopped his heart or affected his heart.
Yeah,
All the energies.
He passed away from accidental overdose. The doctors prescribed him too much every single medicine you can give because he had anxiety and he broke his Achilles tendon and and basically it was before overprescribing was an epidemic.
Oh,
And,
wow.
he died of that. Really, just the doctors not doing the right thing.
One more thing here, and then I'll pause and give you guys space for questions. How do you connect to the month of April or the number 4? I don't know if we talked about that number yet, but there's something about the number 4 or the month of April.
Cameron literally just said that her number. You can tell him, Cameron.
The number I use to, the sign with my dad and I is the number 4.
Wow, awesome. So just know that I don't know if you can see my paper. See that great big 4 up here? He's just having me draw the number 4 just to show connection and to validate his presence. So if you're already having that experience and like that's your number, when you see that number, you think of him, it's just his way of saying, yep, you got it right. Like he's just validating his presence in your life. And it's super important that on his behalf, he's saying it's super important that you guys just always remember he has not left you. He has not left your side. He is still so interested in your lives and what you're doing and who you are and how you choose to be in this world. I mean, he's going like this. This is my symbol for emphasis. Like, please emphasize this. He's still extremely passionate about who you guys are and how you live your life, even though it's different how he is in your life. I'm still here. I'm still here. He keeps saying that. I'm right here. One more thing. I keep saying that, but he keeps saying that. Do one of you guys have a Bible or his Bible or some sort of like super special book that was his, or do you have a book about him? It's like, it feels like a very sacred book. So that's why I guess, is this a Bible or is this a book about him or a book that he loved or something? It's in reference.
He wrote a book with my grandfather before he passed, but I don't know if the girls have anything.
I keep that book on my my coffee table.
Oh, the book that he wrote?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, Carly, she go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that there's that book, but then there's also a book that was shared to me. He didn't write it, but it's about him, like pretty much like his whole day-to-day life that his cousin kept, that was like from when he was a kid, of like the days of what they were doing, and I just found out about it maybe like a year or two ago, so that was pretty cool. I don't know if that's what it is, but
This is what I'll say. He keeps saying the book, talk about the book. Typically when I hear the phrase the book, I'm supposed to talk about the Bible or something of like great sentimental value or sacred value. If he wrote a book and you keep it on your coffee table, that's probably the reference. Also, if you have a book that he didn't write, but it's your way of connecting to him, thinking about him, or reminding you of him in some way, that's probably what he's referencing. I always like to tell people, let it land where it does, the information. It'll cause connection and resonance where it belongs. So if you think about, oh, I have his book on my coffee table, it's causing connection there for a reason. That's where he's trying to plug in, okay? One more piece, again, like this is just him speaking freely, but I will say with the book acknowledgement, it's important to him. So if you keep this out on your coffee table, please know that means a lot to him. That keeps him in your space and close, and just know that there's big energy and gratitude around this. Or if you have a book that you read that makes you think of him. For what it's worth, he is extremely heartfelt in saying again, he wants me to say it again, like he's literally saying, I'm sorry I left so early. I didn't know it was going to be like this. Talking about the timing of his passing. He's someone who, he loves life. He loves life. He loves people. He loves being involved. Like he's very charismatic. He's very alive. And he's looking at his family. Like he has that, and this is such a wonderful quality to see, because sometimes maybe not all fathers are this way. He loves the responsibility of being a father. He loves his family. And he would do anything for you guys, and he needs you guys to know that. So he's literally saying, like, I'm sorry I left so early. I didn't know it was going to be like this. And this is just another way for him to say and express how much he loves being a father and how much he loves his family. But please know that no kind of death, no time of, when he passed could separate him from his love for you guys. It's important that you guys know that. It's also important that you guys pay attention to your dreams, because he's saying that he will come to you in the dream state. So if you think you have a dream and it's like, oh, I think I saw Dad last night in my dream, it's not just a dream, it's a visit. So please know that. Like, he's putting emphasis around that.
I've seen him. I've smelt him in my dreams.
That's him. Amazing. That's just his way of validating his presence to you. Like, you need to, it's so big. His heart is like, he's so emphatic that you guys need to know he still loves you so dearly, wants to be a part of your life. still. Like, I'm still dad, he keeps saying. I want to pause and give you guys space for questions. I hope that everything he shared, from talking about being cremated to, having this ring of his, to July, using your voice, acknowledging the move, these are all ways that he's reminding you guys, I'm still a part of your life. I see what's going on because I care, because I love you. And I truly hope that these pieces of information are validating for you to know that. So I'm going to give you guys space. If you want him to talk about anything, give insight. If you have any questions, and if not, that's okay. Like, sometimes you just need to take in what they share.
Anybody?
But I thank you.
Girls?
Thank you for your time and for this.
It's my absolute humble pleasure and joy. Thank you for being open to this process and allowing me, to share. It's really your dad, it's really thanking him for, look what he just did to cause this alignment. He got you all together at the same place at the same time so he could talk to you. That's pretty amazing. So thank you guys for allowing me to share.
Thank you.
It's literally like he called you guys up.
That's the alignment of that is insane.
Yeah. And I always like to tell people this too. I know how heavy this is emotionally. It's a lot to sit with. Things come up, questions come up when you start to think and feel a little more clear. So please feel free to reach out. We'll be in touch after this. If something comes up later, this door is always going to be open. So please just know that.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. You are so welcome. Thank you guys so much.
My question, can I get your name?
Sure. Kimberly. We can connect
I'll
after.
send Lemicah her Instagram so you can forward it to you guys as well.
Yeah, they're sending me the Instagram, and I'll make sure everybody gets her stuff.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's just, I'm literally a little bit at a loss for words, and I'm never like that. So it's very heartwarming to know that our dad, I just feel, I was telling Lemicah, like, I was going back and forth with, like, should I call my brother and my sister to tell them what's about to happen? And then he was just like, FaceTime them both. And I kept telling Cameron, I can't tell you until Lemicah gets on the phone.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Jeez. And then your dad's like, actually,
we doing this today.
Yeah. So like, my dad this is the time where he's ready to just kind of really show us that he's still with us, and just validate some feelings, and because we've never done this. I'm about to cry. So it's like, we haven't had the closure, and we haven't really, we have each other, but at the same time, hearing my dad's, like, hearing him saying, like, hey, I'm here. I know I wasn't that present, and just all of those things, like, when it comes to our childhood and being at such a vulnerable state as teenagers for me and Lemicah, and then Cameron being 8 years old, losing our dad, it's just very heartwarming to know that he is still present, not in the physical world, but he's just there. He sees us. He's proud of us. And I just want to know, my question is like, what are we doing what he wants us to do? Like, we're working together to make sure that for his name's sake, like, his name is alive and all of those things, but all this at the same time, like, when it comes to us individually, my biggest thing was like we didn't get the closure. We didn't get to say bye. We didn't get to, me and my dad were playing phone tag right before he passed. Like literally the night before I had a voicemail from him. So, or not even the night before, it could have been the night of, I don't even remember. Yeah. But just those things I want to know is like, how do you feel about just where we are and just us working together and, you know, just even our family dynamic, like.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where he was putting a lot of emphasis was first and foremost wanting you guys to know how passionate he still is about all of you and continuing to be a part of your life. And as you're talking, he's saying, if you can just live in a way that honors who you are, that's what I would want for you. He's like, that's the best that I could ask. If you just love who you are, live who you are, that's all I could ask. I will say this, though, also, as you were talking, he's talking about school. Somebody in school, going back to school or studying something?
Snaps.
It's
not me.
I'm not.
I'm not.
Not right now.
This is something I would make a note of because it comes through with great strength. So I'll say if nobody's in school or thinking about it, you will be. Someone's going to take on, and it could just be something as simple as like small certification course, but there's going to be new study. One more thing that he brought up, did somebody lose a child? Have a miscarriage? In the family?
I had an
know that he has that child with him. The interesting thing is, Spirit has, in my 12 years of doing this, they've never used the word. They always, they name as miscarriage. We have such an emotional attachment to that versus they see it completely different. He's acknowledging a miscarried soul. Like I would say someone had a miscarriage. Just in the way that Spirit expresses this again. So he's acknowledging that child, that baby. If you had again, he's choosing to call it a miscarriage, and it's important that you know that he has this baby with him. Like we're together. It's important, family's family. Like we love each other one way or another. It doesn't matter how much time in the flesh we spend together. It's important you know that. It's also important that there's forgiveness. Like you forgive yourself, that there's forgiveness all around in this. Like forgive ourselves. Your dad is saying like literally forgive. Like may we be able to forgive ourselves for the things we don't know or we don't understand fully, he says. So I hope that resonates with you.
Yeah.
Your dad is blowing kisses to all of you. This is my symbol for I love you. So please know he's saying with great passion how much he loves you guys. And to answer your question, he's super proud of how close you guys are, how connected you guys are. He just keeps saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. He's like, I know you know, but I'll never stop saying it. So again, I thank you guys so much for being open to this process. And I truly hope it's helpful and comforting in your hearts to have some kind of closure. And hopefully that closure brings a new type of connection with him, allows you to connect to him in a new way.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Well, now Maestro's gonna monetize off of my fucking tears.
No, man. I had some tears.
Yeah, no, I was getting a little emotional too.
This is actually, it's just beautiful to see you. You connect.
Yes, thank you for being open to this. Truly, I mean, I'm happy for you. Again, it's never my place to convince anybody of what I do.
Right.
But I'd love to share it when someone's open.
I'm glad for you being open with it, and this was incredible to see. Even the way it came about, I'm still like wrapping my mind around it all. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
that's wow.
I mean, bravo, your dad did a wonderful job organizing this whole thing.
You in Thailand, nigga. Like, what's the odds of any of this working out this way? That's what's gotten me from square one. I'm like, huh.
How did you feel when she told you that? Did you just, the bottom fell out from underneath you when she said she was gonna go on the show? You must have been like, there ain't no fucking way.
Yeah, that's not possible.
I had when Spike Lee movies, when something crazy happened.
And you just was moving forward on the treadmill without moving. That's the camera.
Confused.
Oh man,
He was Malcolm X before he went into that final.
dude. Well, when he got on, you weren't paying attention. You were talking. He was like trying to get your attention.
That's crazy.
I didn't expect. This was a little too much.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot to process. And oftentimes when you feel silenced by it, the best thing you could do is just sit in that silence for a while and
No, because
process. It's okay.
this is fucking weird, bro. That's where this is weird, bro. I maybe I'm converting my sadness into anger right now, and maybe I don't know how to handle what's going on right now. But this is fucking weird, bro. This is not even this is fucking weird, bro. This is all weird.
The rational mind will never accept intuitive experience. So take it easy on yourself. Try not to rationalize it.
And it was all positive though. Nothing was that's what even, I mean, obviously it's not my experience, but that's what made me feel more at ease with it all, because it's all positive. There was no it was all, and even some the certain things she said, I remember you've even told me, and I'm just like, damn, that's crazy.
Spirit's goal is always to help you grow, help you prosper, help you see whatever it is. They're here to support our evolution because they know it supports their evolution too. And sometimes, when we step back and let the rational mind rest a little bit and just process, then you get the most out of it. But it's yours, to feel about how you will.
It's too much. It was just too much all in one 20-minute fucking moment of you fucking talking to me, and then my sister's fucking calling me, and then I fucking have to take my sister's call. I said, hey, I'm on a call. I'm doing the thing right now. I'm recording an episode. Can't talk to you right now. Carlicia is like, no, it's important. Pick up the phone. So much so that I stepped away from my fucking episode. I never step away from my fucking episode. We finished the episode and then I call, but I fucking decided to step away from the fucking episode. I go on and then she says, was a fucking important thing happened. I'm going, Raven's fucking calling me. Raven wants me to fucking do this thing, and it's a thing with this fucking psychic. And then I'm like, but wait, I'm talking to a fucking psychic as we speak right now. And she said, what do you mean? I'm going to see a psychic Tuesday. And I say, no, there's on the phone with me right now. And then
that's so? Raven is doing this?
No, you're saying way too much.
Cut that out of the episode real quick.
Okay.
Cut that out.
That's a genius idea, though.
But
I'll cut it out.
But please, note that. Cut that, please.
Yeah, that'll get cut out, along with your 400 fucks.
Yeah. I did say fuck a lot of times, so maybe
that's pretty awesome. Though. That's
know
alignment.
Where to start cutting because I say fuck.
I know. I'll remember.
Yeah,
hour 52 minutes.
That's a lot of alignment, though, right there.
No, that's an insane amount.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, that's wild.
I'm sorry I said that, Carlicia. I just am not really in a place to
No, it's okay. I understand. I get it. I understand. I just signed the contract, so I can't say it.
No. I get it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It will get cut. Don't you worry.
I know. But yeah, no, this is just a lot to deal with right now. It's I'm over here Maestro, you fucking called my sisters. You set me up. You fucking
Imagine if I even had their numbers. that I could put this together if I tried. I set the wrong time in the iCal for the time we were supposed to do this. You weren't even supposed to be up. You see?
Yeah, he said you canceled before he came over here.
In the iCal.
Yes. This none of this adds up.
The only reason I'm on here is because he happened to fucking text me and be like, "Hey, you still good for 2?" I said, "Wait, what? What do you mean?"
It's pretty good.
No, listen, I'm gonna let you sit with this.
Man,
I think
Take a breather.
This is amazing. Thank you for
Of
coming on,
course.
and thank you.
Thank
for
you.
sharing.
No,
so
fuck
much.
that. You cry. Who do you need to tell? No, fuck that. What are you going through?
Maestro wants to know who killed Biggie. Maestro wants to know
I
who
have a
killed
heart
Biggie.
of ice. I don't cry.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was tearing. Like I said,
No.
I was
I'm
getting
talking about
emotional.
Maestro. I don't want you to cry.
I was
want
tearing up
Maestro.
on yours. Listen. I want to do this again in the future.
Yeah.
And then, because this was, especially when we can all be in a room too.
Yeah, that'd be
This
awesome.
this was fantastic.
Yeah, that was great.
That was great. Well, thank you again, and
Thank you so much for having me.
For
Thank you. He's coming for blood.
Anthony, for you to fucking bring first of all, this is the first time I've fucking spoken to you. You're in my inbox and you're sending me fucking messages.
I'm sending him memes. I'm sending Lemicah memes. I don't even know who he is. I'm like, this is pretty funny because I send Maestro memes and I'm like, I'm gonna send Lemicah too.
you said what?
I say the first time I fucking talk to him, he fucking decides to break me down. He brings someone that's gonna break me down emotionally. We only have a rapport of funny memes and funny videos. And
Instagram rapport. I ain't never had a nigga I only know on Instagram come break my feelings.
And now he's like, "Oh, you want to meet me? You're gonna meet me." And now.
Lemicah's like, I don't even want to know what come with me. if the Zoom is this crazy.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm scared of meeting you, niggas.
I don't want to know you.
Forget my name. Forget my number.
All right, man. We gotta wrap this up. We're almost 2 hours.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much for allowing me. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I will definitely be in contact with you. Thank
Absolutely.
you, Nancy, for bringing her here. Everything I said aside, this is gonna be the scariest moment of my life. So thank you guys, and you guys are now all a part of my life in a weird, strange way.
Now it's even stranger for us.
Now I gotta look at you and was like, remember when we channeled your dad and you cried?
I would never say this. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not that guy. Hey, people, I'm not that guy.
You and your sisters, remember that? And you just started fucking crying. Your dad told you. Your dad told you he was proud of you. He gave you all the.
This is called projecting.
Whenever Maestro's mad at you, he's gonna bring it up.
3:00 in the morning, and then your sisters woke you up, and then your dad gave you all the messages that you've ever wanted since you were 16. You remember that? You remember that? You remember?
Yeah, you remember that? Welcome to Surrounded by Idiots. Then the outro plays.
Bye, guys.
Beautiful.
All right,
Bye.
you,
Good night. Thank you.
And that's it. We out, y'all. Peace.